everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Julie. I homeschool my 5 kids while my 4 are school age. My kids this school year were in grade 4, grade 2, grade 1, and junior kindergarten. So today I'm going to do a little bit of a year in review. We're not quite done our school year. We have a couple of weeks left before we're completely done. But I just want to go through some of our curriculum and show you what we liked, what we didn't like. If you guys follow my channel at all, you'll have seen some like homeschool routine videos, day in the lives, morning routines, where I show how we use this curriculum, and you've seen a little bit of that in our daily lives. But I'm just going to do a little review today and talk about the curriculum we used. I did a like halfway point review in our school year, halfway point update, kind of just sharing how this school year was going for us. And of course we moved this year, and I had mentioned how our school year was kind of out of whack and things were completely different. Very soon after I filmed that video, I don't even know, it was probably not even a month later, we were quarantined. And so all of a sudden our school year has just really sped up, I think, just because we don't have anything else we're doing. We're home, and so we've been doing very regular school routines. We had been doing Friday co-ops earlier in the year. That ended mid-March. And so we continued to take Fridays off, and I am loving that. We love having Fridays off. We don't need an extra day of school. We have really been completing our work well, just doing Monday to Thursday. And Friday's just a nice extra, I don't know, it's not the weekend, but it's just a nice extra day. We get stuff done around the house. We usually do read aloud still. I still get the kids to read and practice the piano, and we've really enjoyed those Fridays off. I also think that in that halfway point update, I said I don't know when we'll be finishing school because we didn't start until October this year. It was like the 1st of October that we started school, but we're going to be finishing mid-June, which our school year in Canada is a bit different than in the United States. Like our public schools go from the first week of September to the last week of June. Because we homeschool, we usually choose to be done beginning to middle of June, and we just work our school year around that. But even though we started late this school year, and I thought we'd be going later into the summer as well, we're not. So the quarantine has kind of been nice for that. For my first grader, we used Matthew C again for math, and Matthew C we have always enjoyed. We always use this for kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, and no complaints with Matthew C. We used it a little bit differently this year, and that is because our DVD player broke, and so my son, I think, watched the first few lessons that come with this, with the DVD, and then after that, I just explained to him what he was learning, and I have done this with 2 kids already, so I knew exactly what they were supposed to be doing and how they were supposed to use their math blocks and stuff. And so we didn't do the DVDs. Also, this comes with a math test book, and with my other kids, I did all the tests through here, but this year I was like, you know what, if he knows, like if he's gone through each of his lessons and he has understood, he has got correct answers, I'm not even gonna bother to do the test because he doesn't need that extra review. So once he finished the Matthew C workbook, I did get him to do the very final test, just for kind of a last hurrah, finishing off this level of math. And he did this, 30 question test, and I think he got 3 questions wrong. All just silly mistakes. He really understood everything, and he came so far in math this year. It always surprises me how far they can go from the beginning of the year, where he was just doing like simple addition, to adding +9s, +8s, +7s, and just so much with subtraction too. He just came a really long way with math. My oldest 2 kids for math are doing teaching textbooks once again, and so my oldest is grade 4. He's doing the 4th level 4 teaching textbooks, and then my second grader is also doing level 4 teaching textbooks. She's just quite a ways behind him in that, and we again are really happy with teaching textbooks. I love how independent it is. So they watch their lecture, they each have their headphones on their individual devices. One's on a laptop computer, one's on a desktop, and they answer all their questions. At the end of every lesson, I always like to ask them, how many did you get wrong? And it's usually 2 or 3 out of their whole lesson that they got wrong. My kids will usually tell me if they're having a really hard time understanding something. They won't just keep getting the questions wrong. They'll say, Mom, I'm not understanding this. And so in that case, I will come and help them. It has not happened often at all, but there's been a couple of times where I've just gone into my teacher account, deleted the questions that they got wrong, and then I sit down and say, okay, let's go over these again. So they do those questions again, and I sit with them and kind of talk them through it. We did take a couple of like week-long breaks to focus on times tables, and so they were having a little bit of a hard time with their multiplication facts earlier on in the year. So we use these wrap-ups. They're like flashcards, but again, independent. I'm all for independent as a mom of 5. And so they would do these wrap-ups. We also have songs on the computer that they can listen to that are singing their multiplication facts. I just wanted to show you, I do have addition and subtraction wrap-ups too that my younger ones have used. And next year I think I'm gonna get division as well, because we're getting into division now, my goodness. If they are having a problem understanding something, again, they can watch the lecture again too. So each lesson starts with a lecture, and if they're having a hard time later on, they need to review how to do a certain multiplication or a certain thing they're learning, they can go back and rewatch that lecture. Okay, on to writing. So we are again using Handwriting Without Tears. We really enjoy the Handwriting Without Tears book. So this is my son Simeon's, who is in grade 1. I think the pages are quite fun, and there's some pictures to look at, some pictures to color, but I also really appreciate how simple it is. I've definitely seen some workbooks where you look at it and it's like, okay, what do I write? Where do I write? There's just so much going on in the pages. I like how clean and simple these pages are. And then my older 2 kids, same thing. They are also doing Handwriting Without Tears, but they are doing cursive. And I like how up until this level, so this is about 2nd grade level, I think, this cursive kickoff book. This is what my daughter Charity is doing. It's like 2nd, 3rd grade maybe. The books are a horizontal layout, and I really like that as well. Just simpler, I think, for little kids, and so I do like that. We are also doing Explode the Code again, and these books just have really good reinforcement on their phonics, and they're simple enough that I get my kids to usually do about 3 pages in a day, and it goes from like 1 page where they're circling things. They like that. They like the break from just writing. So 1 page they're circling things, another page they're writing out words. Again, working on those phonics. Also a lot of spelling reinforcement, really understanding how to spell words and why we spell words the way we do, even though sometimes it doesn't make any sense. That is Explode the Code. We have really had a good experience using those books. On to some of our other subjects. We are again doing Story of the World. Lots of curriculum we use this year that we have used for a while, if not our whole homeschooling journey, because we've just enjoyed them. And so Story of the World is like that. We are on book 4. So there are 4 Story of the World books. We've done each one. This year it's book number 4, and this is the recent history. And the kids really enjoyed learning things that happened recent, like in the past 100, 150 years. I don't remember what year we were in when this book started, but they definitely been asking us questions like, oh, were you alive when that happened? Oh, that's the year. Was grandfather born at that time? And they like to understand a little bit more about the timeline in this recent history. If we do this level 4 history book again, I will definitely get the activity book. This past year we didn't, and we didn't have a printer, and so a lot of the pages are reproducible. I think level 4 you're actually ordering online and have to print everything. And so we didn't have that option easily available to us, so we didn't do the activity pages, but I have enjoyed in the past using the activity book that comes along with Story of the World. There's a lot of just reading aloud, and so when the kids have something to draw or color or a little activity to do while I'm reading, that really helps out. I did want to show you, I have the scrunch map. I have shared this in the past. We did pull this out a lot. If you guys haven't seen this, it's this big old map. And it's made of, oh, I have no idea what this material is, but it doesn't rip. You can just fold it all up, or you can scrunch it, hence the name. And It's great. We have pulled this out a lot and just looked for the different countries we're talking about. As I'm reading through history, I'll say, okay, everybody look, and who can be the first one to find me? Iraq. And who can be the first one to find me? Another country. And so we have done that kind of on the side. For science, where once again, we did Apologia, and so this is the swimming creatures of the fifth day. So interesting. There is so much information in these books, so many nice, colorful pictures. We have a couple of other books, 3 other books, I guess, from past years. We have flying creatures, we have botany, and we have the planets, the astronomy book. And my kids this year have pulled out those books and just looked through them on different occasions and have really just enjoyed looking through them, finding out little bits of information. I love how the Apologia books always point back to God. As a Christian, these books are perfect. It's always confirming the presence of God in this story and how things were created. At the end of every chapter, there's something called a creation confirmation, and it will say, this is the evidence here. Like, look, this happened because of the flood. This happened because God planned this out. There are definitely parts of this book that I can read and my kids really absorb it all, and they're really understanding and finding it so captivating, and they love the pictures. There are some parts that are a little bit more complex and I lose them a little bit. I'm reading these descriptions and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I lost the kids on that. They have no clue what I'm talking about. Maybe my oldest, but the others I lose a little bit. Just shows how this book is really suitable for younger ones, even if some things go over their head, and really suitable for older ones as well. I learned so much. I had no idea about a lot of the things I learned in this book about these swimming creatures. As my oldest gets older, he's in grade 4 this year. Up till this point, I have never gotten the activity notebook or student notebook, something that goes along with these books. But as he gets older, like next year, I probably would get that for him. He's old enough that he can do some more notebooking. It also comes with a lot of different experiments. And again, a lot of them are for the older kids. We pick and choose and do some here and there, but a lot of them we don't do because I just look at it and it's like, yeah, that would be entirely me doing this experiment and not the kids. So we do some of the simpler ones, but we definitely skip a lot of the experiments and more just treat this as a read aloud. Another book we use for science, I am going so long when I start talking about our curriculum. Oh my goodness. Okay, no one's gonna want to even make it to this point of the video. We also did Dr. Bonafide this year, which was really fun. The kids really enjoyed that. It comes with these little goggles, and then it just shows a lot of different information about your bones and different names of the bones, the carpals, the phalanges, so much information in here. And this book is solely about the bones of the hand, arm, and shoulder. There are, I think, 3 other books. One is about the bones of the, I don't even remember right now. Okay, I'm gonna have to go look in the index to actually find out what the other ones are. Oh, bones of the foot, leg, and pelvis, bones of the cage and spine, and bones of the head, face, and neck. So those are the other 3 books there, and I think we will get those because my kids really enjoyed that Dr. Bonafide book. My halfway point review, I said that we hadn't done geography yet. We never did. We didn't even go and do geography at all this year. It was just kind of, we skipped a year of geography, and that's fine. We definitely had bits and pieces of it throughout our history. It talked about different locations, and of course, like I showed you, we pulled out our map and studied where things are and the directions, the northeast, southwest. We did a lot of that, as well as in science we learned things about different countries, and we'd pull out the map and show where those are. So we definitely did little bits here and there, but no specified geography course. We are still really happy with spelling power, and so I have done a video showing all in depth how we use spelling power. It's lists, it's memorization, it's repetition, writing over and over again, and then spelling tests, going on, learning new words. You can look for my spelling power video, or maybe I'll link it down below if I can remember to do that, if you want to know a little more how we use it. But spelling power has been great for my 2 oldest for spelling. My first grader, we haven't started spelling with him yet. Grammar, at my halfway review, again, I said it's not going great. I listed a few reasons that it just wasn't really working for us this year. I think we did it for a couple more weeks after that, and then it just died off and we stopped doing it. So we have not been doing any more grammar. The thing that I am missing is the poetry. I think we were at a good place as far as understanding the parts of speech, and I'm very comfortable where we are with that, but I would like to introduce a little bit more poetry because I did like that aspect of our grammar books. But our first language lessons books, we kind of left them all about halfway through. For required reading, again, through our day in the life, you guys will have seen these books, you'll recognize them, but I have this series of 12 My Book House books, and my 3 oldest have all been reading these. They all read all 12 of these My Book House books that we have. And so the beginning books start with just a lot of poetry. There you go, my kids have been doing poetry. Okay, I'm all good. And also just Aesop's fables and just little stories. As they go along up to the top, like book 10, 11, 12, the stories get a bit deeper, and some of the stories, I know my kids were like, I'm not even understanding this right now. But they didn't complain for the most part, and they still read through all 12 books, and they did that for their required reading. And I enjoyed having something like that to say, okay, I want you to read this, rather than them just picking out, you know, whatever storybook they wanted to read. They do that too, but I do like making them read a half hour of just something that I have assigned for them. So I do want to find something else for them to read. Next year, I want to look for a few more required reading books that are enjoyable, but maybe a little bit more meat to them, or my kids would just read like Captain Underpants all the time. If you hear all that thumping around, Zara's room is right up there. I don't know what she's doing. It sounds like she's wearing a pair of dress-up shoes and stomping around her room. I don't know if that's what she's doing, but if you hear that extra noise, that's what it is. The last subject I wanted to talk about is Bible, and Bible is a big part of our homeschool days. How we did our Bible class kind of evolved through the school year. So we started off using Keys for Kids, and we've done a lot of Keys for Kids devotionals through our homeschooling years. We finished the devotional we had, and so we were doing some other books on like Bible promises. We always do scripture memory and hymn study. And then quarantine happened, and then our church started doing a live stream every day, a devotional from our pastor. And so every day we do that now as part of our Bible time. So really for the past 3 months, we've done our live stream Bible devotional, and we've done a Bible memory verse and a hymn, and that's all we've been doing for Bible time, just really simple. Next year I do think I want to get a different Bible curriculum, but I need to look into that a bit more and see what I can find. I do have a few things on the radar that I'm researching right now in plans for what we will do in the fall, but I do want to switch things up a little bit for Bible for the fall. So that is a quick, not so quick review of how our school year is going, review of this curriculum. I hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit more about what we liked or didn't like, and everything I mentioned, I'll try to link it down below so you can quickly find those products if you are interested in them, and I will see you guys soon.